I want to give a shout out to Giannis for winning his first title with the Milwaukee Bucks, his first Finals MVP. Also like to give a shout out to the city of the Milwaukee. You should be proud of your Milwaukee Bucks. It's been many moons since y'all ever seen a title. So shout out to the city of Milwaukee and Giannis. You deserve it. But I've been noticing a lot of people has been painting this narrative of, well, the Milwaukee Bucks wasn't the most talented team. They were not the most star-studded team. They were not, quote-unquote, the super team. And, a lot of people have been painting this narrative that a lot of those teams have went down, and playing the what if those teams were healthy, would the Milwaukee Bucks even be in the NBA Finals? And this has been started with a lot of other personalities in sports entertainment. And LeBron James is, of course, riding this narrative of, well, we didn't get enough rest in between season, and that's the reason why we're getting so many players injured this season, which, by the way, the individuals that he named on his list, these are the same individuals that have been injured just about every other year. Okay? Starting with AD, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, James Harden. The list goes on and on and on. And it's kind of funny to me how everyone is basically saying that the Milwaukee Bucks were not the talented team. They definitely wasn't a super team, and they wasn't the team that everyone was proclaiming, championship aspirations and things of that nature, which is kind of funny. We didn't use none of these quotas on the Los Angeles Lakers last year when they won their title. Remember now, they done it in a bubble format, and the majority of people that they played against, a slew of those teams did not have their best players. Even when they played against the Miami Heat didn't have their best players on the roster. And a lot of people, and there were some people out there that said, yeah, that was a bubble title, yada, yada, yada. But, everyone gave the LA Lakers their flowers. They deserved them. They won the title last year. And everyone that, including LeBron James, should give Giannis and the Milwaukee Bucks their flowers. Because at the end of the day, folks, it doesn't matter how many superstars you done got on one team. It really doesn't matter if you got the most successful coach on your roster or on your squad, or you're the most talented, or you're the star-studded team, this, that, and the third. At the end of the day, it's what's left on your team to even make it to the NBA Finals. Getting to the NBA Finals is about the last man standing. Okay? And who's the most healthiest. And at that particular time, the Milwaukee Bucks were the last man standing. They were indeed the most healthiest. They did have nagging injuries along the way, but the bulk of their team was representing them in the finals. And when you look at the Brooklyn Nets, the Los Angeles Clippers, the Los Angeles Lakers, at one point the Phoenix Suns, even though they did make it to the finals, the Utah Jazz. When you look at all of these other teams that a lot of these, analysts on these sports networks were proclaiming, oh, well, this is the team that's going to win it all. You got your Skip Baylesses, your Shannon Sharps, your Stephen A. Smiths, the talking heads of, social media proclaiming this team, the Brooklyn Nets were going to win it all, the Los Angeles Lakers were going to win it all, the Los Angeles Clippers were going to win it all, yada, yada, yada. All these guys proclaiming these teams before they even played one game in the regular season. But throughout the NBA history, it's always been about not, the last man standing. Who was the most healthiest, okay, that made it to the NBA Finals? 9 times out of 10, the team that's the most healthiest is going to win the title. All right. Yes, talent does play a part. Okay. Skill does play a part. Okay. Yes, if you are in luck and you got a super team, those 3 players or those 2 players do play a part. But if they're not on the roster, how they're going to help you? The others are going to have to contribute as well. And that's what the Milwaukee Bucks did. That's why they won the title. All right. They didn't win the title because they had, one superstar in Giannis that was carrying the team. They won the championship because of not only with Giannis, but with the others. The others won, got the Milwaukee Bucks to the NBA Finals and won the the finals. So let's just give the Milwaukee Bucks their flowers, their just dues. They deserve it. They didn't cheat their way to the NBA Finals. It was always about the last man standing who survives. All right. So if we're going to give it to the Lakers and give them their flowers last year, let's give the Milwaukee Bucks their flowers. All right. The Toronto Raptors, when they played against the Golden State Warriors, yes, the Golden State Warriors did not have their best roster. They didn't have the roster that they started with, when game 1 of the regular season. All right. Kevin Durant went down. Klay Thompson went down. Steph Curry had nagging injuries here and there. Okay. Draymond Green was declining a little bit. All right. And Boogie Cousins even went down. But yet they went to the NBA Finals and they lost to the Toronto Raptors. And the Toronto Raptors, all they had was at that particular time was the Claw, was Kawhi, and the others. And the others with Kawhi won the title. Okay. They were not the most, when you stack them against the Golden State Warriors, if the Golden State Warriors were healthy and the Toronto Raptors were healthy, of course you're going to give all the categories to the Golden State Warriors. They had the best team, had the best roster, had the best players, had the best coach. All right. But at the end of the day is the last man standing. And the Toronto Raptors had more guys on their roster that still were on the roster than the Golden State Warriors, who had a bunch of guys that were out of the lineup due to injuries. So they won their title and we gave them their flowers. We gave them their props. All right. So let's just give the Milwaukee Bucks their props too. All right. I know the Milwaukee Bucks were not, was not the favorite with a lot of people on social media or the talking heads on sports talk radio shows or television shows or these sports networks. A lot of people were not pushing for the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, they were in the discussion. They were always in the conversation, but they were, when the regular season started, no one was proclaiming the Milwaukee Bucks to win it all in the NBA Finals. Even diehard Milwaukee Bucks fans wasn't proclaiming the Milwaukee Bucks were going to make it to the NBA Finals. Remember now, they were in line to trade for a player, and this player was going to make this roster 10 times better. And that the trade fell out. All right. They couldn't get the trade done. All right. And then a lot of doom and gloom on the Milwaukee Bucks. Well, this is not going to be the Milwaukee Bucks year. It's going to be the Brooklyn Nets year. It's going to be the Los Angeles Lakers year. It was going to be the Clippers year. The favorites that had all these super teams or these super duos. And when the dust settled, none of those teams made it to the NBA Finals. Now, a lot of people are going to say, well, this is just, this is not consistent. If they ran it back again, and if they play in the if game again, if those super teams or those super duos were healthy and everyone was on their roster, we will be crowning a different championship. You may be right. And then a lot of people are saying that next year the Milwaukee Bucks are not going to make it to the finals because these other teams are going to get extremely healthy. All right. And we have to roll a dice on that. It's always been about what ifs with a lot of these people that are talking, particularly since the Milwaukee Bucks won the title. But like I said, when next year starts, a new fall begins, And yes, a lot of those teams are going to get high praises because they got the big three or the big two, and people are going to say they're going to win the title. But when the dust settles and when the dust clears, it's always, and it's continued to be, particularly with NBA championships and finals, the last man standing. Last man standing. Who is the most healthiest? 9 times out of 10, whoever's the most healthiest is going to win the title, okay? Yes, a lot of luck plays a part. Talent plays a part. Skill plays a part. Okay, superstars matter. But none of that matters if your superstar is injured, okay? Sitting on the sidelines or sitting up in the press box and just watching their team play, all right? So, yes, a lot of these teams are going to get healthy. Okay, the Clippers are going to get healthy. The Lakers are going to get healthy, as well as the Brooklyn Nets are going to get healthy. But I don't doubt none of these teams. But a lot of these teams got one common factor: one or more of their superstars is always injured. Okay, James Harden was injured last year. Okay, he was injured the year before, all right? He has been injured the year before that, all right? Kyrie Irving has been injured before, okay? Kevin Durant has been injured before. Kawhi Leonard has had knacks and injuries here and there, all right? A spotty injury report, all right, I may add, as well as LeBron James. LeBron James has been injured before. Now, he was healthy last year, but the year before that, he was injured. All right. So, you can't just base it on, well, whoever has the most talent, whoever has the most superstars are going to win the title. Okay. A lot of luck plays a part, but the second most factor is you have to be healthy. And we're just going to wait and see next year. Next year might be someone totally different that we didn't expect when the NBA finals next year. All right. If Phoenix keep Chris Paul, they can run it back and make it back to the finals. You never know. All right. It's always the last man standing. It always been who's the most healthiest. And that plays a part as far as winning titles. All right. So congratulations to Giannis for your first ever championship, as well as your first ever finals MVP. I feel like this puts him and stacks him in the elite group with the LeBrons, with the Kevin Durants. You have to give him his shine. On Undisputed yesterday, Steven Jackson said, well, as of right now, LeBron is the face of the NBA. I can co-sign to that. He also said that Kevin Durant is the most, is the best player in the league. I can co-sign with that as well. And he also said Giannis is the champ, which I can definitely co-sign to that. All right. So that's how I see it. And we're just going to have to wait till next year. Next year will be next year. So it's your boy. I'm up out of here. Deuces.